Have you ever felt like the world was against you? Have you ever had a dream that felt too big for your hands to hold? Do you believe that one person can change the face of history forever? What would you sacrifice to protect the people you love? Life is a long journey. Sometimes we find ourselves in the middle of a storm. We look for a light to guide us home. We look for a reason to keep fighting. Today, we will look back at a life full of storms and light. We will look at a woman who refused to be forgotten. Hello, my dear friends. Welcome to our quiet corner of the world. It is so good to have you here with us today. Please, take a deep breath. Find a comfortable place to sit. Let the noise of the world fade away for a few moments. Today, we are going to learn English together, but we are not going to look at grammar books or long lists of words. Instead, we are going to travel through time. We are going to listen to a story. Stories are the best way to learn. They touch our hearts and stay in our minds. When we feel the story, we understand the language. If you enjoy these peaceful journeys, please consider subscribing to our channel. Your comments and your likes help our community grow. They allow us to keep sharing these moments of peace with English learners all over the world. Now, let us close our eyes and travel to a land of gold, sand, and deep blue water. Let us begin the story of Cleopatra. Long ago, in a land called Egypt, the sun shone very brightly. The sand was like gold. The great river Nile flowed slowly through the desert. This river gave life to everything. Beside this river, a young girl was born. Her name was Cleopatra. Cleopatra was not an ordinary girl. She was a princess. She lived in a beautiful palace in the city of Alexandria. The city was famous for its great library. It was a place of books, maps, and big ideas. While other children played, Cleopatra studied. She loved to learn. She wanted to understand the world. She did not just speak one language. She learned many. She spoke the language of the Greeks. She spoke the language of the Egyptians. She spoke the languages of many distant lands. She knew that words are powerful. She knew that to lead people, you must first understand their hearts. Imagine a young girl sitting by the window. She watches the ships in the harbor. She hears the different voices of the sailors. She feels the warm wind on her face. She knows that one day she will be the queen. But being a queen is not easy. It is a heavy crown to wear. It is a lonely path to walk. Her father was the king, but he was tired. The kingdom was in trouble. Powerful people in Rome were watching Egypt. They wanted the gold. They wanted the grain. Cleopatra watched her father struggle. She learned that a ruler must be smart. She learned that a ruler must be brave. Have you ever felt a big responsibility on your shoulders? Have you ever felt that you had to grow up too fast? Cleopatra felt this every day. She was young, but her mind was old. She was ready to protect her home. She loved the river Nile. She loved the smell of the lotus flowers. She loved her people. And soon, the time came for her to prove it. When her father passed away, the world changed. Cleopatra was now the queen. But she was not alone. She had to share the throne with her younger brother. This created a great darkness in the palace. There was no peace. There was only jealousy. Cleopatra was forced to leave her home. She had to hide in the desert. Imagine the Queen of Egypt sleeping under the stars. The nights were cold. The wind was loud. She had lost her palace. She had lost her power. But she had not lost her spirit. She was waiting for a moment. She was waiting for a sign. Then, a famous man arrived in Egypt. His name was Julius Caesar. He was a great leader from Rome. He was powerful and strong. Cleopatra knew she had to meet him, but her enemies were watching the roads. They wanted to stop her. They wanted to keep her in the shadows. Cleopatra had a brilliant plan. She did not arrive with an army. She did not arrive with a loud parade. Instead, she hid herself inside a large rug. Her loyal servant carried the rug into Caesar's room. When the rug was unrolled, there she was. She stood before the most powerful man in the world. She was brave. She was beautiful. She was intelligent. Caesar was surprised. He had never met anyone like her. She did not beg for help. She spoke to him as an equal. She spoke to him with grace. This was the turning point. In that moment, two worlds met. Rome and Egypt became allies. Cleopatra was no longer a girl hiding in the desert. She was a queen again. Sometimes in life, we must hide for a while. We must wait for the right door to open. Have you ever had to wait for your moment? Have you ever had to be creative to find your way back? But peace did not last long. Life is often full of shadows. Even though Cleopatra was back on the throne, her heart was heavy. She had a son with Caesar. She hoped for a future where Egypt and Rome were friends. But Rome was a dangerous place. One day, terrible news came across the sea. Caesar was gone. He had been killed by his own friends. Cleopatra was heartbroken. She was also afraid. Without Caesar, who would protect Egypt, the Roman leaders were fighting each other. The world was at war. She returned to Egypt and focused on her people. She worked hard. She opened the granaries to feed the hungry. She managed the money of the kingdom. She was a mother to her children and a mother to her country. But a new leader was rising in the West. His name was Mark Antony. Mark Antony was a brave soldier. He was a man of passion. He needed Egypt's help to win his wars. Cleopatra invited him to meet her. She arrived on a magnificent ship. The sails were purple. The oars were silver. The smell of perfume filled the air. Antony fell in love with her immediately. But their love was dangerous. It was a love that the world did not want. The leaders in Rome were angry. They thought Cleopatra had too much power. They thought Antony had forgotten his duty. The conflict grew bigger every day. It was not just a war between armies. It was a war of words. The people in Rome said bad things about Cleopatra. They called her a villain. They tried to make the world hate her. Have you ever been misunderstood? Have you ever had people say things about you that were not true? Cleopatra stayed strong. She stayed by Antony's side. They built a life together. They had children. They dreamed of a great empire. But a storm was coming. A young man named Octavian was leading an army against them. He wanted to be the only ruler of the world. He wanted to destroy Cleopatra. The war came to the sea. The ships crashed against the waves. The sound of battle was everywhere. Antony and Cleopatra fought together, but they could not win. They had to retreat to Alexandria. This was the time of transformation. Cleopatra realized that her dream was fading. She saw that the world she knew was ending. In these dark days, she did not give up. She showed a different kind of strength. She showed the strength of dignity. She began to prepare for the end. She built a beautiful tomb for herself. She studied the mysteries of life and death. She was no longer just a queen fighting for power. She was a woman facing her destiny. She spent time with her children. She looked at the sunset over the Nile. She knew that Octavian would come to capture her. He wanted to lead her through the streets of Rome in chains. He wanted to show everyone that he had defeated the great queen. But Cleopatra had a different plan. She would not be a trophy. She would not be a prisoner. She transformed her fear into courage. She decided that she would choose her own end. She would stay a queen until her last breath. There is a great power in choosing how we handle our pain. There is a great power in holding on to our pride when everything else is taken away. What is the lesson of Cleopatra's life? Many people think her story is only about beauty or love, but it is about much more than that. It is about the power of the mind. Cleopatra was a woman in a world of men. She used her intelligence to keep her country free for many years. The big idea of her life is that we must never stop learning. She knew that knowledge is the only thing no one can take from you. She studied science, philosophy, and politics. She used her brain as her sharpest sword. She also teaches us about resilience. Resilience is the ability to get back up after you fall. Cleopatra fell many times. She was exiled. She lost her friends. She lost her love. But every time, she stood up again. She fought for her home. She fought for her children. She believed that life should be lived with passion. She did not do anything halfway. She loved deeply. She ruled strongly. She dreamed big dreams. Even when those dreams broke, she did not regret them. She lived a life that people would talk about for thousands of years. Do you have a big dream? Do you use your mind to solve your problems? Remember Cleopatra. Remember that you are stronger than you think. You have the power to create your own story. You have the power to be the hero of your own life. Today, Egypt is a different place. The palaces of Alexandria are gone. The great library is no more. But the name Cleopatra is still alive. We see her in movies. We read about her in books. She is a symbol of mystery and power. Her legacy is one of courage. She was the last pharaoh of Egypt. When she died, an ancient world ended. But she made sure that the world would never forget Egypt. She made sure that people would always wonder about the woman who ruled the Nile. She taught us that history is not just about dates and wars. History is about people. It is about human emotions. It is about the struggle to be seen and heard. Cleopatra was heard. Even now, across the silence of 2,000 years, we can hear her voice. When you look at the stars at night, think of her. Think of the young girl who studied the sky in Alexandria. Think of the queen who stood before Caesar. Think of the mother who wanted a better world for her children. Her story is our story. It is a story of trying, failing, and trying again. We have come to the end of our journey today. I hope you enjoyed the story of Cleopatra. Her life was like a bright flame that burned quickly but very brightly. When you go about your day, remember her strength. If you face a challenge, think of how she faced hers. If you feel small, remember that one woman from a small country changed the world. You have that same light inside of you. You have the power to learn, to grow, and to overcome. Learning English is a journey, just like Cleopatra's life. Some days are easy, and some days are hard. But if you keep going, you will reach your goal. You will find your voice. You will be able to tell your own story to the world. Thank you for spending this time with me. I hope this story helped you feel more confident in your English listening. It is always a joy to share these moments with you. Now, I have a question for you. What part of Cleopatra's story did you like the most? Was it her bravery? Was it her intelligence? Or was it her love for her country? Please tell me in the comments below. I love reading your thoughts. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. Hit the bell icon so you never miss a new story. We have many more journeys to take together. Until next time, stay curious, stay brave, and keep practicing. Goodbye for now, my friends.